Hi, this video is meant to demonstrate a vulnerability filter showing only CISA known exploited vulnerabilities on internet-facing assets. So when we say internet-facing assets, a couple of different ways to look at it. The first would be looking at assets that have public IPs, with the assumption that public IPs are outside and private IPs are inside. We can see we have quite a few, 129 assets that have public IPs. Some of those are going to be networking devices, of course. A lot of them are assets in our Singapore office using the 192.172 address space. And that address space is just in that one office, and it gets natted out to the rest of the company. So those aren't really internet facing. And if we look at the vulnerabilities on those guys, we see that there are actually no vulnerabilities, or no vulnerabilities that are on the CISA KEV list anyway. The other way to look at this is actually looking at the model from the perspective of the internet and saying, where could I reach if I was coming in from the internet? And so one of the things we'll notice is we do have a DMZ, but our DMZ is natted. So those addresses are actually internet facing. So if we go back and we do an analysis and say, show me all of the assets internally that can be reached by the internet, that gives us these internet facing assets, and I only have 33 of those. So I can see a lot of these are going to be in the DMZ at 1033 addresses. And here I have a filter already created showing the CISA KEV vulnerabilities on internet-facing assets. So we're going to say, show me vulnerabilities that are found, internet-facing is true, and external catalog contains CISA KEV. And see 455 vulnerabilities. They're all going to be exploited in the wild, of course, because they're known exploited vulnerabilities. And I've got it sorted, grouping the asset names together, and then sorting it from a risk score standpoint. So one of the interesting things that you can also do with Skybox is if we look at one of these assets and we think, wow, that thing might be compromised already, what is the reachability of that asset? I can come over here and say, do a lateral movement analyzer. What that's going to do is it's going to go back to the model, and it's going to see where can this asset get in the organization? What would the reachability be if this asset was compromised? And so here we see that the asset in the DMZ only has access to the DMZ. That's the only other place that they can get. They can't get anywhere else. So this is called Access Analyzer, essentially does path analysis on that model. And so lastly, if we want to make a report out of this, reports typically are going to consist of some widgets. A lot of people will just use a dashboard that exists, coupled with some table data. So I've made a report using this dashboard and that list of vulnerabilities we were just looking at. So to do this is pretty simple. You can just say copy the dashboard to a report section, and I've got two reports in here right now, Risk Management Executive Report and the CISA KEV Vulnerabilities on Internet Facing. I have two sections. I put that dashboard in section 1 to give us some nice visuals. And then in section 2, I just used a table and told it to use that view that we were looking at before. So same vulnerabilities we saw before. And if I want to make a PDF out of that, and click this little button right here, and it'll ask me if I really want to do that. And we see the report that we just created. I'll download that, open it up, And there's a PDF with our overview and then the individual vulnerabilities below. And that's how we would show CISA known exploited vulnerabilities on internet-facing assets. Thanks.